Hey Alex, let me tell you about one of my favorite movies, The Croods. This is one of the most underrated movies in the past 10 years. The first hook of the movie is that Nicolas Cage voices Grug, the paterfamilias of a family of cavemen. The Croods takes place in a fictional prehistoric world with very strange looking creatures, more like monsters each one. And the Croods are a family who has survived by their brute strength and their near instinctive fear of anything new. The story begins when the daughter Eep meets a human boy who shows her many new things and tells her that the world is going to end. So the family must face their fear of new things in order to survive their fast-changing world and escape to the land of tomorrow. Overall, it's a great family film. One uniting theme in the film is the telling of what I will call parables. Parables being the teaching tools that use storytelling as their primary mode of communication. Usually parables involve characters or their subjects that represent the listeners of the story. In the second parable, Grug tells a story about a teddy bear who breaks the rules and discovers something new and then immediately and inexplicably dies. Apparently, most of Grug's stories go like this. It clearly represents some wisdom of tradition and the purpose of safety and security for the rock and the cave. For us as the audience, there are some pretty clear parallels from this to Socrates' cave. Suffice it to say that the family was forced to literally leave the cave and to encounter the really real and dangerous world around them. Then, a huge earthquake destroys their cave and they have to venture out to find a new cave. Naturally. The next parable that he told was about a tigress who left the cave, and just when she was about to find something new, she immediately dies. Real shocker there. Grug finished the story in front of his whole family, including his daughter, the tiger-skinned wearing Eep. He's trying to show Eep how what she did was wrong, and it nearly killed the whole family, which, to be fair, was not the entire truth. Guy, the human, never heard a story like that before, but he had a story of his own. There once was a young tigress who went up a mountain and climbed out onto a long tree branch to follow the light. Reaching as far as she could to touch the light, she slipped and then she flew to the land of tomorrow. There's a lot to unpack about this move, not the least of which are its overtly religious themes. First of all, there's a contrast between conservative and progressive ideologies with the traditional family structure in the Croods family following a list of dogmatic rules which were instituted by the patriarch, and the orphan living by his own rules, ushering the family not back to their starting point, but drawing them into a new mystical land called tomorrow. However, beyond the simple political parallel, you have Eep, the daughter, obsessed with light. It's not just fire like the typical caveman, but the sun and the stars continually show up throughout the film. And by the end of the movie, what is the first glimpse of the land of tomorrow they have? They spot it like the sunrise over the clouds. You also have the form of the great flood storyline where a single family is trying to survive the end of the world and they're taking as many animals and creatures as they could. Grug had to fly a bird's ribcage, long story, along with a big cat, a dog, some strange scarf animal, and a few other pets to get across the divide to get to the land of tomorrow. But here's the kicker. The cavemen don't escape a flood to return back to the land once the flood is ended, but instead, Guy takes them to a paradisal land that cinematically came on the clouds, bright as the sun. Can you see the imagery here? But this whole movie is about parables, and the thing about parables is that they usually tell familiar stories which end with a surprising twist. The very first parable is also the last, and that is the movie itself. So at the beginning of the movie, Eep is telling the story. She narrates her family's life before Guy came and took them to the land of tomorrow. At the end of the movie, she finished the story with the whole family living at peace with their previous predators while living life to the fullest in paradise forever. All they had to do was change their whole way of life. Easy peasy. I know religious movies don't get much credit or acclaim, but when the whole story flies under the radar, people just see a good film with good family values. Really, the religious imagery and themes are quite clear. Even Grug, the hopeless Okonkwo-esque character, asks himself at the end of the film, what would Guy do? And then proceeds to imitate what Guy would do and took a leap of faith to get to tomorrow. Anyways, what do you think? Am I crazy or am I onto something? Or maybe both. Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to hit that bell or subscribe if you haven't already. Alex, we'll talk on Tuesday.